welcome to the Brew4U show, sponsored by the Beer Loons. Got brewing questions? The Beer Loons have the answers. Check out beerloons.com today. Hello everyone, I am your host Mike Campbell and welcome to Brew4U. Today we are reviewing New Holland Brewing Hopivore. Find us on Untapped, because we're there as well, we're everywhere, by searching for, simple enough, Beer Loons. Let's give you a little info on this beer real quick before we do the review. New Holland Brewing is out of Holland, Michigan. This beer is considered a harvest ale because it is wet hopped. It is 5.8% in alcohol by volume and 56 IBUs. The grains that they use is 2 rows and crystal malt, so a nice basic beer. The hops is Centennial and Cascade, all Michigan sourced. This is considered an American ale. Oh, I'm sorry, the yeast is American ale. This is a harvest ale, sorry, but the yeast they used was American ale. And you serve this at 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit in a pint glass or mug. So let's go ahead and get right into the review then. First off, this beer pours into the glass with a very dark copper, almost a reddish hue to it, which is kind of nice. We also have a cream-colored head that is thick and slow fading. In the aroma, you get hit with a light citrus, kind of a lemony aroma, but mostly kind of earthy, a little bit of a grainy note to this beer as well. I would believe a lot of this has to do with the wet hopping. You kind of get a little bit of a stem-like aroma. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. And what wet hopping is literally the hops are taken off the vine and thrown right into the beer, usually within a couple hours of it being harvested in the field itself. So these are very unusual styles, and it takes a lot of wet hops to equal a dried hop. You can sometimes hear ratios as high as about 10 to 1. So 10 ounces of wet hops to 1 ounce of dry hops, although, some might believe more to like 6 to 1, things like that. So the brewery, these are very special beers, usually only produced once a year. So let's try this beer. So you get kind of a real light caramel flavor, really just kind of smooth up front, little malt, nothing major. As you go through the taste, the hops definitely come out. The citrus notes, the grapefruit of the Centennial hops, and actually Cascade is fairly kind of citrusy as well. Kind of an earthy note to the beer. The aftertaste, basically the middle of the taste to the aftertaste really kind of remains the same. So it's just kind of a light grapefruit flavor. So it's not overpowering like some other beers can become. It's not kind of that pithy flavor of a grapefruit. It's more like an actual eating of the grapefruit. So it's much more kind of subtle. It adds a complexity, but doesn't overwhelm the drinker. So if you're just getting into things like pale ales, you might really like this beer because it does give you that hit of hops, but it's not super dominating like a lot of them can be. Body on this is medium light, and this is a hoppy beer. You do get the malt, but this is really more about the hops in this. It's certainly not an IPA. It's not going to blow your head off hop-wise, anything like that. It's actually a very nice balanced beer, and the fact that the beer is wet hopped, to me, really balances the beer even a little nicer. Hop rating, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because you really do notice the hops. So it is kind of middle of the road average hops. Does have some bite, but nothing that's blowing your head off. And a very nice beer. New Holland did a great job on this. Really like what they've put together. I like the balance, which is important to me. I'm going to give this beer an 84 out of 100, which is an excellent score. And they've done a very, very nice job. So if you are into bitter beers, give the New Holland Hopivore Michigan wet hopped harvest ale a try. So don't forget to check out our homebrew podcast called Brewing Today. And until next time, cheers.